There are designs that do not simply age, they grow more beautiful with every year that separates them from the world that created them. There are cars that do not simply drive. They speak to something fundamental inside every person who has ever stood beside a truly great machine and felt their heart respond before their mind had a chance to catch up. Those cars are rare, and sometimes, against all odds, they come back. This is the 2026 Austin-Healey 3000s, finished in a metallic white that is unlike any white you have ever seen on a modern car. This is not a flat, clinical white. This is a white that carries depth, that shimmers at the edges where light grazes across its curves, that turns pearl soft in the shade and brilliant as morning sunlight in the open air. Parked on a wide coastal promenade with the ocean light moving gently across its body and the salt air carrying the faint sound of waves in the distance, this car looks like it belongs to another era entirely, and yet somehow it feels completely, undeniably present. It feels alive. The 2026 Austin-Healey 3000s does not simply revive a classic. It resurrects a feeling, the feeling that a car can be more than transportation, more than engineering, more than design. It can be an experience that changes the way you see the world every single time you climb behind the wheel. Stand at the front of the 2026 Austin-Healey 3000s and take your time. This is a front end that rewards patience. The signature oval grille remains the absolute centerpiece of the front design, refined and elevated with precision chrome slats, whose finish is so deep and reflective they seem to contain the entire surrounding landscape within them. The polished chrome bumper overriders add that unmistakable vintage character period, beautifully proportioned and executed in chrome bordering on the obsessive. Round headlights sit wide on either side, their circular glass housings maintaining complete fidelity to the original while concealing modern LED technology within. The sculpted hood carries a subtle intake scoop that hints at performance without shouting about it. The metallic white paint flows across every surface with a luminous, shifting quality that makes this face look different and more beautiful from every angle. Move to the side of the 2026 Austin-Healey 3000s and pause, take a step back, because the side profile of this car is one of the purest, most emotionally powerful expressions of Roadster design ever committed to metal and paint. The proportions are exactly as they should be. The hood is long, the rear deck is short, the windshield is low and raked, and the roofline with the soft top neatly folded and stowed behind the seats is simply open sky. These are the proportions that define the original 3000s as one of the greatest looking roadsters ever built. These are the proportions that have not changed, that did not need to change, and that the designers of this revival had the wisdom and the courage to leave exactly as they were. The flowing bodywork catches the coastal light beautifully, the metallic white paint rippling with soft highlights and gentle shadows as it moves across the curves of the doors and rear haunches. Wire-style alloy wheels fill the arches with a design authentically vintage in appearance, but engineered to modern standards of weight and strength. Their chrome spokes catching the coastal light and throwing it back in bright, scattered patterns that seem to move as you walk around the car. The stance of the car is low, wide, and deeply planted, exactly the kind of stance that tells you immediately and without ambiguity that this machine was built for roads, not car parks, not driveways, not showroom floors. A chrome beltline strip traces the full length of the car along the lower edge of the door glass, a single precise line of brightness that gives the side profile its essential character and draws the eye naturally from the long hood all the way to the compact, purposeful rear. Walk around to the rear and the Roadster's compact, athletic character is immediately evident. Round LED tail lamps sit at each outer corner, their circular form maintaining the original design's identity with complete conviction while providing modern light intensity. The chrome rear bumper sweeps across the full width, polished to a mirror finish and executed with obsessive attention to detail. Twin exhaust outlets emerge beneath with confident restraint, round, chrome-tipped, and perfectly positioned. The Austin-Healey 3000's name sits in flowing chrome script at the center of the rear deck, perfectly proportioned and proud of the heritage it carries. The compact rear deck slopes beneath the rear glass with an elegant taper that gives the car its unmistakably athletic character from every angle. Step over the low sill into the cabin of the 2026 Austin-Healey 3000s, and the first sensation is not visual, it is tactile. Quilted cream leather seats are deeply cushioned. carefully stitched with handcraft and patience, shaped to hold you perfectly for long, winding drives. The dashboard is finished in beautifully grained walnut real wood, warm and rich, spanning the full cabin width, giving this small Roadster an interior warmth that many larger cars fail to achieve. Behind the wood-rimmed steering wheel with brushed aluminum spokes sits a classic analog instrument cluster, round dials for speed and revs flanked by smaller gauges for fuel and temperature, everything lit with warm amber glow. The walnut center console houses a polished manual gear selector and period-correct toggle controls. A discreetly integrated infotainment system provides connectivity without advertising itself its screen size, so it never intrudes on the vintage character. Every surface speaks of materials chosen for the experience they create. This is not a cabin, this is a sanctuary. Beneath that long sculpted hood, the 2026 Austin-Healey 3000s is expected to feature a modernized 3.0-liter turbocharged inline-six engine, drawing direct inspiration from the original car's famous six-cylinder power plant. Estimated output is anticipated to fall between 380 and 420 horsepower, delivered entirely to the rear wheels in the purest tradition of the original Roadster. A 6-speed manual transmission is expected to be the primary and most celebrated option, with an available dual-clutch automatic for those who prefer it. With lightweight aluminum construction throughout the body and chassis, and a fully developed modern suspension setup tuned for the kind of balance and feedback that driving enthusiasts have always demanded from great British sports cars, the 2026 Austin-Healey 3000s is projected to cover the 0 to 60 miles per hour sprint in an estimated 4.5 seconds. But this car is not about raw numbers. It is about balance, engagement, and connection. It is about the sound of a straight-six engine singing on a coastal road with no roof above you. Nothing between you and the world but wind, speed, and the extraordinary feeling of a truly great car, doing exactly what it was born to do. As a limited production revival of one of Britain's most beloved sports cars, the 2026 Austin-Healey 3000s is expected to carry a starting price somewhere between $145,000 and $175,000 USD, with final pricing dependent upon the level of personalization and specification chosen by each individual buyer. This is not a car for everyone, and it was never meant to be. It is for those rare individuals who understand that exclusivity is not about a badge or a price tag. It is about owning something that cannot be replicated, something carrying a story that began over 60 years ago. Every buyer will not simply be purchasing an automobile. They will be becoming part of an ongoing legacy. Industry sources and Austin-Healey enthusiasts anticipate a formal concept reveal in late 2025, with limited production deliveries scheduled to begin in mid-2026. Demand is expected to significantly exceed production allocation, making early reservation essential for those serious about ownership. The 2026 Austin-Healey 3000s in metallic white is living, breathing proof that true beauty is not bound by time and cannot be contained by it, that the greatest designs ever created do not belong to the decade that produced them, but to every decade that has the wisdom to celebrate them. So here is the question that we genuinely want to hear your answer to. In a market full of modern sports cars with every conceivable technology and performance figure, would you choose this Austin-Healey 3000s as your weekend car, or is there something else that comes close to this level of pure, timeless, open-air emotion? Tell us honestly in the comments below. We read every single one. If you believe that the greatest British sports cars ever built deserve to live and breathe and be driven again, hit like, hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and we will see you in the very next one.